Welcome back to the channel. Today, we are continuing our exploration of English grammar by focusing on an important verb tense called the past perfect continuous. Have you heard about it? According to linguistic data online, students of English as a second language either use it rarely or not at all. This is a pity, given that, as a student of English as a second language, studying this verb tense is a crucial step in your journey towards mastery of the language. Not only is it an essential aspect of the English language, but it also allows you to express yourself clearly and accurately in a range of relevant contexts. You need it to effectively convey a sequence of events and indicate that one action, while focusing on duration, was completed before another action in the past. You should also know that good use of past perfect continuous demonstrates to others that you have good command of the language, and that you are well on your path to fluency in English. But how about you? Do you feel comfortable in using the past perfect continuous tense? Please tell us in the comments below. Also, make sure to stay until the end, as I'll be providing you with 10 examples of the past perfect continuous verb tense. I'm sure will be very useful for you. Before we get started, do consider helping us. Subscribe, give a like, then hit that notification button. It really helps us a lot. Without further ado, let's jump right in. The past perfect continuous, also known as the past perfect progressive, is a verb tense used to describe an action that started before a certain point in the past and continued up until that point. It looks like this: subject plus had been plus verb plus ing. For example, I had been studying English for 2 years before I moved to Canada. But why use it? Can't we just use the past perfect or past simple? Well, not quite. There is a real need for this verb tense. The past perfect continuous is used to express a duration of time up until a past event or situation. We can say that it is a way of emphasizing the length of time an action took place before something else happened. It is also important to note that the focus is on the duration of the action, not the action itself. You should now be fairly comfortable with the meaning of this verb tense. In short, it is used to describe a past action that was in progress before another past action. Here is a good example: by the time he arrived, she had been cooking dinner for 2 hours. In this sentence, the focus is on the duration of the cooking, which took place before the arrival. If you belong to the group of people with interest in history, like myself, let me briefly mention that the past perfect continuous verb tense is believed to have originated in the late 17th century. It was first recorded in written English in this period by a number of English poets, playwrights, and literary critics. The past perfect continuous is now widely used in English and is considered to be an important aspect of English grammar. Well, you already knew that, because that's why we are talking about it. So let's go a bit deeper and break down the usage with further examples. The past perfect continuous can be used in several different ways, including to describe an action that was in progress before a point in the past. She had been working on her project for weeks before she finally submitted it. To describe a past event that was in progress when another past event occurred. He was feeling tired because he had been studying all night. To describe a past action that was in progress for a certain amount of time before another past event took place. I had been waiting for the bus for 45 minutes when it finally arrived. Incoming warning. It is important to note that the past perfect continuous is used to describe actions that were in progress before a past event or situation, not actions that were completed before that event or situation. To this end, we normally use a combination of past simple and past perfect. For example, I had already finished the project before we moved to San Francisco. A promise is a promise, so here are 10 further examples for you to study the practical use of the past perfect continuous verb tense. She had been working on the project for months before she finally presented it. By the time I got home, my parents had been waiting for me for hours. He had been practicing his piano skills for years before he gave his first concert. The children had been playing in the park for hours before they finally came home. I had been studying for the exam for weeks before I finally took it. She had been writing her novel for 2 years before it was finally published. The construction workers had been building the new bridge for months before it was finally completed. I had been running every day for 6 months before I entered the marathon. The company had been developing the new software for years before it was finally released. The band had been practicing their new songs for months before their first concert. So, there it is. The past perfect continuous verb tense is an important aspect of English grammar that is used to describe actions that started before a certain point in the past and continued up until that point. Understanding and using the past perfect continuous correctly can greatly improve your overall command of English. If you felt that this video provided you with some value, do consider subscribing to our channel. And don't forget to leave a like as well. Thanks for coming by. See you in the next one.